सो बेसिकली कल किसी ने पूछा था कि एनिमेशन करने पे क्या क्या करियर ऑप्शंस हो सकते हैं, राइट? तो पहले हम ये डिस्कस कर लेते हैं और उसके बाद फिर हम आज एक प्रैक्टिकल करके देखेंगे। प्रैक्टिकल एनिमेशन को बनाएंगे सो दैट कि हमें पता लग सके कि किस तरह से एनिमेशन होती है। और मेरे ख्याल से रिगिंग को लेकर भी कुछ सवाल थे आपके मन में, क्योंकि वीडियोस शेयर हुई थी उसके ऊपर बात हो रही थी। तो वो भी मैं आपको एक्सप्लेन करूंगा कि फर्क क्या है 2D एनिमेशन और 3D एनिमेशन में, क्यों वहां पे रिगिंग जरूरी होती है, और 2D एनिमेशन में कहाँ पर रिगिंग की जरूरत होती है और रिगिंग होती क्या है, राइट? तो बेसिकली जब भी आप एनिमेशन करते हैं तो आप सबसे पहले तो एनिमेटर तो बन ही सकते हैं। एनिमेशन की बहुत सारी जॉब्स हैं आज की डेट में, दिल्ली में, कहते हैं नोएडा में, एनसीआर में, और साथ में हैदराबाद, आपका क्या कहते हैं जो बॉम्बे है, पुणे है, यहाँ हर जगह पर इसकी बहुत ज्यादा रिक्वायरमेंट है। हर चैनल के अंदर रिक्वायरमेंट है। न्यूज चैनल्स बहुत ज्यादा मतलब कि हायर करते हैं एनिमेटर्स को फॉर देयर मोशन ग्राफिक्स। तो बेसिकली मैं आपको कुछ एग्जांपल्स दिखाता हूँ मोशन ग्राफिक्स कौन से चाहिए होते हैं न्यूज चैनल्स को। अगर हम यहाँ पे जाते हैं, एक मिनट में अपनी स्क्रीन को शेयर करता हूँ यहाँ पे। तो मेरी स्क्रीन नजर आ रही है आप सबको? हेलो?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ओके, सो बेसिकली let me open some examples. Open. So here you can see that if I open any news channel over here, like News 24, right? So we have these type of things. We call them bumpers and etc. टिकर्स भी कहते हैं कुछ चीजों को। तो अलग अलग पार्ट्स होते हैं। तो आप देख सकते हैं कि ये जितना भी ऊपर यहाँ पे चल रहा है, ये कॉम्पोजिशन जितनी है, इसको हम कहते हैं ब्रॉडकास्टिंग डिजाइन। ये सारा का सारा जो डिजाइन है, ये डिजाइन आता है आपके कहते हैं ब्रॉडकास्टिंग पैकेज के अंदर, राइट? तो ये आपको सारा का सारा न्यूज चैनल्स के लिए डिजाइन करना होता है। ये जो सा है काफी हाई डिमांडिंग जॉब है आज की डेट में, क्योंकि रियल टाइम के ऊपर आपको ये सब कुछ करना होता है। कभी भी न्यूज आ सकती है, वहां पे आपको ब्लास्ट शो करना होगा, राइट? तो इस तरह की चीजें यहाँ पर क्विकली बनती हैं। वहां पे पूरी की पूरी टीम होती है एंड आपको सिर्फ एक टास्क को प्रोवाइड करते हैं। लाइक आपके लिए वो बोल देंगे कि यहाँ पर आपको ये टेक्स्ट लिखना है, आपको सिर्फ टेक्स्ट के ऊपर ध्यान देना है। या फिर वो आपको ये बोलेंगे कि आपको ब्लास्ट यहाँ पे लगाना है, ट्रक जा रहा है एंड ब्लास्ट लगाना है वहां पे, तो आपको सिर्फ उसी पे ध्यान देना है। इवन ट्रक भी आपको बन के दूसरा आपका टीम मेंबर दे देगा। ओके, ओके अरुण जी, I will use the mixed language, right? So I will use Hindi and English both. Will it work for
Okay.
you?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Oh, sir. Actually, I
Oh,
don't know Hindi. Okay. Anyway, I'll try to understand.
no issues, no issues. So basically, what I was telling that the first career option is motion graphics, right? So motion graphics is high in demand because every channel even needs this. So you can get hired over there. So there are a lot of jobs regarding the news channels, and then you can also apply as a graphic artist, right? Because for every animation we need the graphics, like we need the character, right? If you are designing a character for the animation, there is some there is a purpose, right? So you need to read that after that, after creating. So the character should be designed for the rigging, right? So there are some points which are necessary when we are designing a character for the rigging purpose, right? uh, I think someone is on chat. Yeah, even award shows, serials, movies require these. Plus nowadays what is happening, everything is going online, right? We know that because online advertisement is cheaper. And after that, on the social media, every company needs the animated products to explain their products, right? Like they need the reels, they need the shorts, right? So they can hire you as a social media manager, right? Or social media designer. If I show you some examples, I think there will be some shorts, right? So we can check those out. Animated shorts. So these are not the shorts, but let me see if we have some. So here you can see that these are all explainer videos. If you can see, this one is right. So these are the explainer videos or the cutout of the, you can say that animated film. But here I am talking about some advertisements which are created in animation, right? So like if we talk about Amul, right? So I think Amul have some animated advertisements. So here you can see that there are a lot of advertisements. Why I have checked the Amul first? Because Amul is the oldest company who used the animation, right? I think this one was the first company of India which used the animation in their advertisements at that time, right? I will also share the samples in the group on WhatsApp from the Instagram so that you can easily see how animation can help you out for your clients, right? So after that, you can be an art director, right? So to design a proper animated film or a small animated film, or you can say that you are having a company who wants you to design or and animate a explainer video for their product like OneDrive, right? So here you can see that OneDrive explainer video. Yes, that was also animated, right? So here you can see that if we go here or on, let's go to the OneDrive website. There we can find an explainer video, I think. Because in the start, what OneDrive did, firstly, they launched their product, right, without any animated film. So there was nothing to explain to a customer. So customer was confused what it is because that was a new technology on the web, the cloud technology, right? So the sales were very low. But when they created a presentation, animated film for that, for the advertisements, and they got marvelous uh, uh, sales, right? So basically, what happens, the animated film or the animated explainer video works as a salesman who explains everything and the importance of the product to the customer, right? So it's way more cheaper than hiring lot of sales persons in the company who will explain everything to the customer, right? So now you have a one video and it is playing for every customer and it is explaining and customer is viewing that and you are getting sales, right? So if we go here, I think they might have right now. I think it's some, but I think it was on their landing page. So I think it's over here. Let's see. Let's open someone else explainer video, right? So here you can see that this is the explainer video of top companies, right? So here you can see that some of the explainer videos. Actually, I am finding out some explainer videos of the top companies. Otherwise, you have all these. If we go to the Zamzam, it's a very big company of the explainer videos. This is the 2D animation. This is not a 3D animation. So here you can see that if we go to the Zamzam videos website, like I am a client and I want these type of videos for my company, and if I want the quotation from them, then I have to go to their website from here, right? If I go there, you can easily see how much they charge for it, so you can have a good idea, like get a quote. If we go here you can see that budget. You can select a budget. This is the budget in abroad. $6,000, starting from $6,000, right? Now you can understand what is the demand of this thing in the industry, right? And also, if you learn this thing, right, if you have the talent and if you have the good portfolio in animation, right? Portfolio means you have a good story, like I have, which I have shown you earlier in the previous class. Pavitra ji, it is recording, so you will have the recorded session. Don't worry about that. So basically here you can see that this was the budget, right? So there is a huge demand for the motion graphics artist, right, who can animate the things. So here, if you need a job in this company, then you don't need to have the skills of character animation. You can also animate the non-organic objects. There are two types of animation. One is non-organic, second one is organic, right? Organic means we are animating some living object, like we are animating a person, we are animating a animal, right? And other one is non-organic, in which we can animate any type of object, right, like a title is also a non-organic object, right? So basically you can apply for these type of jobs. If you have certain skills, they can pay you good, because in Canada the average salary of a animator or motion graphics artist is somewhere around 2,000 to $5,000, and there is huge demand right now. You can apply easily, but for applying outside India, you need a certain type of degree, right? So you need to earn at least a BA degree, Bachelor of Arts, right? So if you have that, and if you have the good showreel, then you can get the job easily, right? In even in India, the average salary of an animator, starting salary of the animator is somewhere around 7.5 lakh to 17 lakhs, and for the high-end animators, it's about 40 lakhs per annum, right? So there are a lot of types of animations which you can perform. Like if we talk about the game industry, right? So in the game industry, what happens? So there are two parts. One is development, one is planning, and one is designing, right? So basically in the designing, you have to design something, a character, a world for the game, and you have to animate those, right? So basically, if we are designing a racing game like a NFS, Need for Speed, right? What we need cars, we need parts, right? We need car parts, and we need the environment, right? So what we need after that, we need the collision animation. What will happen if a car collides with another car? What will happen if a car collides with, yeah, fire and blast, everything, even the animation in the textures of the car, denting, scratches, everything. So we have to design everything, then we hand over that to the, you can say that, programmer, right? Then we hand over that to programmer. After that they code it, and then it goes to for the testing purposes. In India there are a lot of companies, right? Like UVsoft is the best company. Yeah, bilkul. UVsoft, you can check that out. It's in Pune, so you can apply there. I think everybody have played the games of UVsoft, right? Yeah, Assassin's Creed उन्हीं की है. So basically, it's a very big company. There you can apply as a game tester. They will provide you every console, and you have to play the games and tell them what type of issues you are facing in that game. That's happen when the game is not released in the market. So pre-release testing they perform. So you can apply for that. You can apply as a game designer. Yeah, beta testing is also included. So basically for beta testing, the salary is low, but for the designing, the salary is high. And in the designing part, you don't have to do everything. They use the 3D things. So you have to, you may have, they may hire you as a 3D modeler, 3D rigging artist, 3D skinning artist, 3D lighting artist, or 3D texturing artist, or 3D animator, right? So these are the different fields comes out of the animation, right? So for if we talk about the 3D, you need to spend 4 to 6 months to learn all the skills, and you need 8 to 12 months to earn the proficiency in that field, right? So for that you have to do lot of practice, right? Or else what you can do, you can learn one thing, like you learn modeling. नॉन इसमें भी एक चीज होती है कि मॉडलिंग दो तरह की होती है. One is organic and second one is non-organic. Organic is in which we design the characters, right? And the non-organic is in which we design the cars and the environment and everything else, right? So basically, these are two type of your jobs. You can either apply for a non-organic designer. You can either apply as a organic designer, in which you are you feel comfortable, right? So after that, you even have to do clothing part, right? In the smaller companies, you have to manage everything. But in the big company like Ubisoft, there they maybe hire you as a fur or hair artist, because every character have the hairs, right? So they need the hairs. If they are modeling a, you can say, a cat, right? So cat should have furs, right? So you need to design the furs. So basically, no, basically they design their own softwares, but they test you on the Maya and Max, or you can also use the Blender for that, right? So every top firm have their own softwares, but you have the basic knowledge, basic, you can say that, basic, you can say that showreel, right? You should have showreel. Like I have the VFX showreel and the animation showreel. So I am getting the jobs for the animation and everything like that, right? So I worked on these type of projects because I feel comfortable in that. My friend is a 3D artist, so he creates 3D animations for their client, right? So basically these type of things are happening. Then we have the product videos, which are similar to the explainer videos. And for the animation films, animation ad films, Oreo is the best example. So basically, Oreo is the best example of the animation dynamics. Dynamics is another field in which we design the liquids, how they will flow, how much gravity we should apply on them, how much you can say that density should be there, right? How much turbulence should be there for that liquid. So we have to decide everything. Physics is necessary for that, right? Yeah, let me show you. Dairy milk. Let's check. So here you can see that this is animated film of dairy milk, right? Yeah, the first one. Okay. ये देखो ये this one is the animated film and इसमें I think वो भी आता है, स्लाइड भी आती है. आई थिंक ये वाली वो वाली नहीं है. फाउंटेन्स एंड हाँ, वाटरफॉल्स आते हैं. तो वो बेसिकली डायनेमिक्स का पार्ट है. वो आर्टिस्ट बिल्कुल अलग होता है. बट कंपनीज वांट दैट you should have knowledge of every process of the animation, right? So that you can properly work with your team, right? So this is the teamwork. There will be a supervisor who will distribute the work to everyone, right? You will always have the same type of you can say that work to do, right? Because if you are doing the texting, then they will always hand over you the texting part so that you can do it properly and you will have the excellency on that, right? So basically this is happening. And after that you can be a 3D visualizer who can visualize like what type of camera angle we need, what type of character we need, what type of the story will how will the story will go, right? So everything will be decided by the uh, 3D visualizer, right? So he will decide the colors. So it will start from there. Actually what happens, for every type of film, right? We call these type of things films, right? A movie. For that there will be a 3 sections. One is pre-production, second is production, and third one is post-production, right? So the first one is pre-production, in which we decide everything. Like we design the you can say that a comic type of structure which we call storyboard. So you can be a storyboard artist, right? In which we design what type of scene will go, right? When we have to zoom in, who will be in the scene. So you have to design a storyboard in which you can do rough drawings, right? Right. So you will have a strip like a storyboard. Let me show you a type of storyboard. So here you can see that if I open the images, so this is the form of storyboard. This type of form you will get, right? And then here you can see that it is a completed form of storyboard. Let me show you like this, right? So when we shoot a film or when we animate something, we need to follow this. Otherwise we will not have a good result, because this is designed with lot of discussion, observation and planning, right? So this is very important and plays a crucial role in any type of production, because we know everything. So we don't have to test and try anything which you can say that which reduces our spendings on a project while we are in the production or post production thing, right? And after that there is a part of, you can say that, 3D artist or 2D artist. So when we have this, we have to go to the 2D or 3D artist according to our need. And then what happens, we need to design rough sketches of the character, so that we can so we can decide what type of things we need, what type of things we can use in the actual film, right? Like in the real type of films. Yeah, there is a hand raise. What type of error? Where? You can speak, Ankit. You can unmute.
Hello. Hello. Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah.
Good morning, sir. Sir, I was saying in the second row, it says that Jerry hits the orphan with the knife, the flat side. But in the third line, in the second row, in the last image, it says orphan out of orange. Shouldn't that be the orange out of the orphan?
Don't worry about this, because this is just a sample. They are showing just a sample. So don't worry about that. Basically, have you ever seen the comics? I think
Yes.
everybody read those, right? So this is just a comic. So you have to create a comic so that you have a proper understanding of the what will go when, right? What type of set you need, what type of backgrounds you need, what type of character you need. After that, we do the look testing, right? In the real films, what we do the makeup, haircuts, and everything to check if the character goes with our needs. In the animated films, what we go to the 2D and 3D artists and ask them to design something, so that we can decide will this character will work for us or not, right? So take it as a comic, right? So you have to create a comic. Is it clear, Ankit? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir. It's clear.
Okay. So basically, these are the types of the storyboards. Some storyboards are like this, but the traditional storyboards are like this. But there is one thing is missing, is lighting conditions, transitions, and the camera angles. What type of camera angle we will have when we need to zoom in, when we need to zoom out, right? So we have to write down everything below these boxes, right? So if we go down, I think some type of storyboard will be there which represents everything. Okay, so there is no storyboard like that, but you have to write everything over here, like here, right? Below the image. So if you want to zoom in for the next scene, then you have to type it over here that we will zoom in, right? So that the cameraman should know that when he or she needs to zoom in, right? So in the 2D and 3D animation, we use the cameras. There will be the virtual cameras, there will be the virtual lights, and everything will be there. And if we are doing purely 2D animation, then we need to use the shades for the lighting purposes, right? And after that, what you can be a dynamic artist, a lighting artist, right? So basically, if I show you dynamics, like if we say the chocolate is flowing, chocolate is chocolate animation. Let's say chocolate animation, right? So if we go here, then you can easily see what type of thing I am talking about. Like here, so this one is created with the physics in the 3D softwares. For that, we use lot of softwares. You can also use the Maya and Max for this. You can also use the Houdini for this, right? And the Blender. Basically, what you need the 3D dynamic controls where you can give the, you can say that you can give the velocity, you can give the gravity, you can give the turbulence, because there is a turbulence and there is a splash, and the density of the liquid is high because we know that the density of the chocolate is high. Yeah, real flow is the best software for the dynamics, right? So you can use the, because real flow is the dedicated software to the dynamics, right? But there are possibilities, sometimes we do the same thing in the Maya also, right? So whenever we see the splashes, we see the liquids, we see the destruction, we need the dynamics where we need to tell the software that there is something going to be happen because of collision or some other force like gravity or something. We need to fall a ball down in the 3D. Then we can give it a gravity. It will automatically pull the ball down and we will have the animation over there. But the thing is that the 3D takes time and it's costlier than the 2D, right? Plus the second thing is that we are watching the 2D cartoons when we were kids, right? So our mind easily adopt those things, right? 3D is somewhere near to the reality for us. So many companies targets subconscious mind with the motion graphics and the 2D, you can say that 2D graphics, 2D animations, right? After that, you can also do the freelancing thing, right? Where you can perform any type of job. There are a lot of companies which provide animation jobs, right? And also you can get these type of jobs in your city. The normal price of a demonstration video is about 5,000 to 10,000. If a video is about 30 seconds, you need to create a 30-second videos, then you can easily charge 5,000 rupees. If there is no character, you can charge extra for the character, and most of the companies uh, are hiring animators for these type of jobs, right? You can give them a package, right? If you go to a recording studio, they will charge you about 1,000 to 2,000 according to their charges, right? For a recording, they will record everything, they will mix your audio and they will provide you for the videos. There are a lot of recording studios in every city, right? So that's not a big problem. You can go there. And then there is a very new type of job. Previously that this was not an option for, you can say that, for an animator, but now it is an option. What is that? It is UI UX designer. Have you heard about this thing? UI UX animation examples. Yeah, user interface and user experience, like, right? So basically in these type of designs they need the animations. Like if you go here, you can easily see that Like in the previous short, like in the previous short, you can see that there was a shoe. When a user scroll, the shoe will comes in the front, right? These are type of animations. The developer will code it later, but first you have to design this. You have to model a shoe, then you have to texture it, then you have to export the animation and provide that to the you can say that provide that to the developer who will develop the things. And the salary of the UI UX designer is about 1.5 lakh per month. This is an average. Yeah, we will bring a course for the UI UX designer later on, right? So basically we will show you how to animate in the master classes, how to animate, how to rig the things, how to rig the character, and how you can do the animation, right? So we will have the 2D part, right? So in the 2D part you can easily get the work. You can go for the music videos, you can go for the product demonstration videos in your area. Like if I show you, yeah, I have shown you a hand video yesterday, right? For that we have charged about 7,000 rupees, and that took me to design about 6 hours, right? So you need a good observation, and you can easily earn this type of amount. Firstly, you will learn how to design the graphics, what type of colors you need for a particular industry, right? Because every industry needs a different type of colors, right? So basically, what happens? Let me show you. Like, have you ever have you ever noticed the food companies like McDonald's, like McDonald's? Okay, Kiran, I will check this out in the after this session. Thanks for sharing. Right? Yeah, all of these have something common in their logo and the branding. Have you ever noticed that? Can anyone guess what they have noticed? What they have the same, similar in their logos or the branding? No, not their initials. No, it's the color. Yeah, red and yellow color. Why they have this type of color scheme in their you can say that branding, which is common in everywhere. If you go to the Pizza Hut, they will have a red color, right? So they all have the red and orange and yellow schemes. Why they have these? Because orange and the heat colors have uh, tendency to feel you like you will feel like you are hungry, right? So those are the colors who can make you hungry, right? Whenever you see them, right? So basically they use your psychology in those type of colors. Yes, red have longer wavelength and human, but yellow, we use the yellow in the helmets because so that it is easily available, sorry, easily visible in lot of traffic, right? So basically, what happens? This color is very good for the food. The orange color, the yellow color, and the red color. So mostly these colors are used in the food industry. So there is a reason for that. Now, if Yes, this is a psychology of colors, so we need to use that. If you go to the in any animation studio like Ubisoft or something, or Pixar, they are not going to ask you to decide the colors for their projects, because they have the psychologists for those who are highly you can say that who are highly qualified and experienced in those. They will ask you to decide the colors when you are mature according to them. When they feel that you are mature now, you can decide the colors, right? Otherwise they will say, here you should put this color, here you should put this color. They will never tell you, right, what type of color should go where, right? So in this way you can design the brands. So for the companies, you can design the videos for them. You can easily get hired if you have all those skills, right? And after that, you can be a visual effects supervisor, right? So what is visual effects? I have shown you yesterday a video of mine which I have created, right? So what you have to do, you should have the knowledge of the animation, right? How to use the animation. Then you have to composite it with the camera. You have to track the camera. You have to place the animation in the proper position. Then you have to do the color matching. Then you have to uh, do the proper lighting over there for according to the scene. So without VFX, without visual effects, no one can produce a film, right? Every film have a VFX in them. So let me show you. If we let's name a film. Which film you want to name? You can write over here, or you can tell me. Avengers, let's say Avengers. Okay, so breakdown. Sorry, VFX breakdown. VFX breakdown, sorry, of Avengers. So here you can see that we have the chromas, we have 3D. If we talk about these things, we have the 3D characters. They replace the double body of the basically they replace the characters, their real characters, with the 3D double bodies, right? In certain you can say that in certain scenes, right, they never put their actors in the danger. Here you can see that this was the city and they color corrected it. Then they placed 3D object over here. Then they added the particles. Particles are the part of the 2D animation. Basically, these are the parts of the motion graphics. Now they added the illuminated lights, right? And they have the tornado. We can create tornado with in two ways. First, you can hire a dynamic artist who can do this thing with the help of physics. He can apply the turbulence, he can apply the gravity and everything, right? And have a and provide a render of that tornado to a compositor. He will place that tornado over here, right? So here you can see that. Now you can see that here we have a blue chroma from the first Avengers. Yeah, this technique is called set extension, Ankit ji. So basically here you can also see the set extension. This is the part of set extension. What is set extension? They don't have any type of city, right? So they hide the background with the blue chroma, because we are shooting this in the sky, in the open sky. So we need to use the blue chroma instead of the green chroma, because we will have lot of trees in this thing, in this scene. So if we use the green chroma, then it will also remove the trees in our scene. So we don't want that. So that's why we use the blue chroma, like in this scene. And then we create you can say that city. We can also import the images from different photos, right? We can we can use the cutout, that is called the projection technique, where we project something, right? And we can also create something when we need something extraordinary, which is not possible to shoot in the real, you can say that in the real world, right? Like in the Ravan film, in the Ravan film, what happened? They need to destroy the Mumbai station, railway station. So will the, you can say that will the government will uh, permit them to destroy their station? No. The answer is no. So they have to create that place in 3D, and then they have to merge that with the real film, right? So basically, these are the things in the VFX industry. So you need to use the 2D, you need to use the VFX techniques, you need to use the 3D techniques to be a VFX artist, right? So for the VFX art, also, have you ever seen the black and white film is colored in the 3D? Recently, lot of films are were a lot of films were colored, right? Yeah, Niado. So basically, this is the job of VFX artists, right? So they have to separate everything. Like I want to color this shirt, then I have to track this shirt in the scene, and then I have to make a selection of this thing, and then I have to apply a color, then I have to merge that color on this shirt so that it looks uh, original. That means he have to blend this thing on the original footage, right? So basically these are the jobs of animator, right? So you can be a production assistant also. You can be a production assistant of some, uh, you can say that you can be a production assistant of some producer of the film, because in the animation films we have the main role of the producer who is producing the film. Like in the India, what happens, the producer is something who is you can say that who is spending his money on the film, right? But what happens in foreign, it's a job, right? They hire a producer to manage their funds, to manage their schedule, to manage the film and the whole project, right? So that's a job in the foreign industry, right? So you can apply for that also. And then we have the motion artist. Motion artist, what is a motion artist? So previously what happens, we need to design and animate everything, right? But now the technology is very advanced. So basically what happens, they use some type of equipments like motion capture. For the motion capturing, they use some particular uh, devices, right? So you have to wear that suit with those devices, and whatever you act, your character will act accordingly, right? That's why we are having so much good expressions in latest films, latest 3D films. You can see that they are very lively, because the original actors are performing those scenes, right? So do you have any doubts regarding this? Hello.
No, sir.
No, sir, no doubts. Okay. So can we try something today?
Yes, sir.
Sure. So let's try something. Let's say we don't have too much time today. So we are going to design something smaller and which is very, you can say that effective. We will get a good knowledge, right? So like I have designed eye animation previously. So we will see how we can create that, right? So we are going to create that. For that, I will use the Illustrator first because we need to design something, right? So I will go to the Illustrator. Basically, why I am using the Illustrator, because for the animation I need I need a vector design, right? Because vector means design is a scalable design. So there is a message. Ankitji, is the picture quality is not good? Okay. So are you using the phone network or something? Hello, Ankitji? Yeah, because what happens, there are two type of graphics. First one is rasterized. Second one is you can say that vectorized. Basically, rasterized are based on the pixels. Yeah, that's why they don't get pixelated because they are not made of pixels. They are made of shapes, right? So this is the difference between these, right? So if I go here, so if I click on the new, but if you export the files from the Illustrator as a vector, as a rasterized image, what are the rasterized formats? JPEG, PNG, these type of formats, right? So you should not export these in the JPEGs and the PNGs, right? So that they can have the vector uh, abilities, right? So if I create something in the scale and I will create here, so we need to wait. Yeah, so we have a canvas over here. Let me close the chat window. So now here you can see we have this canvas. Now I will click here, and for the eye we need the ellipse, right? So here is the ellipse. To constrain these, to constrain this, I need to hold the shift key like this, right? So now I have a proper circle for the eye, right? So basically I don't want the circle. I need something in the shape of eye, right? So firstly, I will change the color of the pupil. Sorry, iris. Iris बनाते हैं पहले पहले iris बना लेते हैं. Okay, great. So basically I'm going to remove the stroke from here, and now what I am going to do, I am going to modify it, right? So for that we need to use this tool. I will click here and I will click here. Now you can see that we can easily modify this like this and like this. Here, yeah. ग्रेट। थोड़ा सा इसको एक्सपेंड करेंगे। थोड़ा सा यहाँ से कम। राइट। तो आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं हमारी आई बन चुकी है। इसका कलर का चेंज कर देते हैं। यहाँ पे जैसे आई आई का कलर मैं बना देता हूँ ये वाला। और उसके बाद हम यहाँ पे रिफ्लेक्शन डाल देते हैं। रिफ्लेक्शन को सेम कलर कर देंगे। इसको भी वाइट ही कर देते हैं। राइट। इसको थोड़ा सा स्ट्रोक दे देते हैं, ब्लू कलर में ही दे देते हैं। राइट। और इसके सेंटर में थोड़ा सा इससे डार्क कलर बना देता हूँ। थोड़ा सा हम यहाँ से इसको डार्क कर देंगे। राइट। और इसके स्ट्रोक को हम रिमूव कर देते हैं। राइट। तो आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं कि हमारी आई तैयार हो चुकी है। एक आंख को हमने यहाँ पे बना लिया है। तो बेसिकली इसको मैं कहाँ पे ले जाऊंगा? इसको मैं ले जाऊंगा आफ्टर इफेक्ट के अंदर। तो इसको हम बड़ा कर लेते हैं शिफ्ट को होल्ड करके। राइट। उसके बाद मैं इसको ले जाता हूँ आफ्टर इफेक्ट में। तो आफ्टर इफेक्ट में ले जाने के लिए मैं इसको सेव करूंगा। सेव ऑन योर कंप्यूटर। तो यहाँ पे हम एक नया फोल्डर बना लेते हैं डॉक्यूमेंट्स में ही, वेबिनार के नाम से। इसमें हम यहाँ पे डाल देते हैं आई। राइट। तो आप देख सकते हैं कि ग्राफिक हमारा बहुत आसानी से तैयार हो चुका है। लेकिन उससे पहले मैं एक चीज भूल गया हूँ यहाँ पे, कि जितनी भी लेयर्स हैं ये सारी अलग होनी चाहिए। जब हम वहां पे लेके जा रहे हैं तो ये लेयर्स अलग होनी चाहिए। मतलब अभी लेयर 1 के अंदर ही है सब कुछ, तो इन्हें हमें सेपरेट करना है। राइट। तो यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं कि कौन सी चीज क्या है। इसको हम लिख देते हैं डार्क ब्लू। उसके बाद अगर हम यहाँ पे जाते हैं, ये होगी मेरे ख्याल से हाईलाइट। राइट। उसके बाद इसको हम डाल देते हैं यहाँ पे पी। एंड इसको हम डाल देते हैं आई। राइट। तो हम यहाँ पे 4 लेयर्स ले लेते हैं। नहीं, इसको पकड़ेंगे, कंट्रोल एक्स, इसके ऊपर जाएंगे, कंट्रोल वी। अब यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं इसकी प्लेस चेंज हो गई है। जहाँ पर ये होना चाहिए था वहां पे नहीं है। सो here what you need to do is I will press Ctrl Z so that I can undo it. Then I will hold Ctrl Shift and V. Then it will be on the same place. Right. So I will go here and press Ctrl X to cut. Then I will go to the layer 3 and I will hold the Ctrl Shift and V to paste it on the same place. Then I will go here and I will press Ctrl X. Then I will go here and I will hold Ctrl Shift and V again. You can see that it's on the same place. Now we have each thing on the separate layer, right? So rename these so that we can have the same names in the After Effect to avoid the confusion. So highlight, right, and then dark blue, right? So I will press Ctrl S. This will save our file. Now I will minimize it. Then I will go to the After Effects, right? So I'm going to import that file in the After Effects. For that, I will double click on this project window. And here you can see that we have the documents folder and we have created the webinar folder over here. So we have to go there, and this one is the I. So I will import that. Now here you can see that it is asking whether we need the composition or the footage. Basically footage will be the single image. We don't want that. We need the composition in which we will have all the layers with us, right? So here we need the layer size, and then I will press OK, right? So here you can see that we have a new composition with our layers. So we need to import this composition, or we can also open this composition. To open this composition, you have to double click on it. Here you can see that we have this composition, right? So basically this one is the 5-second composition. You can change the timing if you want. To change the timing, what you need to do, you need to right click on this name, right? Or you can also right click on the composition where the composition is, right? So I can right click on it, then I can go to the composition settings. Here I can manipulate the timing and other things. Like I want to change it to the, you can say that 10 seconds. So here is the 10-second and 0 frames, right? That means we have the 10 seconds to animate something. So I'm going to expand this or minimize this so that I can have full timeline in the view. So I can extend this to about 10 seconds. Like this. Also, the black color you are noticing over here is not black color. Basically, this one is the transparent thing. If I click here, you can see that this canvas is transparent right now. We don't have any type of color over here, right? You can apply the color. You can add the solid layer over here. I can right click over here, and then I can go to the new, and then I can have a solid. Then I can change the color, like I want this one, or let's say this one, right? So here you can see that. Now what happens, all our layers are below these layers. That's why we are not able to see other layers, because the solid layer is above all of these layers. So basically the order of the layers is very important. So you need to drag this down, because this one is the background, right? So do you have any doubts right now? We will also use the rigging in this part. So there will be the small part of the rigging, right? So basically what is the rigging? Rigging is the process in which we tell something, tell a layer or an object that you have to move according to this thing, right? We create the controls. We give the control of one thing to another thing, right? I will explain you practically. So here you can see that we have all these layers. So now this one is the main layer. This one is the main layer. We need to animate this, right? So for that, what I need to do, I need to animate the shape of this layer, right? So to animate the shape of this layer, I will go here, right? Here you can see that. Firstly, I need to convert this into a vector shape. Right now, this one is the vector shape, but we are not getting the vector controls in the After Effects. So for that, what we need to do is, I will right click on this layer, right? After clicking right, you can go to the create, and here you have the option create shapes from vector layer. Click here. Now you have a new layer. You can turn this off. It is already off, because here you can see that this eye icon decides which one will be the visible, which one will be visible, right? So I need to delete this, because I don't want this. This will be the this will act as a clutcher in my project, right? So here you can see that I have this thing. Now if I go down in the content section, we have a group one, right? So here you can see that path. So we need to animate the path, which is the shape. So I will click here on the clock. You can see that we have a you can say we have a keyframe over here. So let's say I want to open this eye over here. So I will click on this diamond in front of the path, in left of the path, left side of the path, right? So I will click here. So now I have a keyframe over here. So let's go back to the first keyframe. Now I will click here. And right now what is happening when I am trying to move this anchor, you can see that everything is moving because all the anchor points, this one, this one, this one, this one, are selected. So we have to deselect everything first, then we need to select this anchor point, right? Then we can move. Like here you can see that if I go here now with the pen tool selected, I can easily move that. Just a second. So let's select the pen tool again. Something. Let's lock this layer first, the yellow layer, background layer. Let me move this toolbar up. Right. So now it will be unable to select. We will be unable to select that, right? So now I will go here and I will select this thing, right? So now I will go to the path and the path is selected over here. Move this cursor down and I will select this keyframe, select this one and move this down like this. Click here. Click here, click here, right? So now you can see that we have an animation in which eye is opening up, right? So now the question is how we can manage this thing, the highlight and this thing. So for that, what we need to do is we need to create a mask for it. What is the mask? Mask will hide certain area according to the mask, right? So basically we need to ask our animation that you need to hide, you need to use the eye outline as a mask for these. So firstly what I will do, I will create a composition of these three. I am going to put these things in a composition, right? So for that I need to press Ctrl Shift and C, right? So it will pre-compose it. So let's say eyeball. Okay. So we have a new composition over here. Great. So now what we need to do, we need to create a mask. We need to use this thing as a mask. So I will go to the track matte. This one is the track matte. And I will say eye outline is the mask, right? So basically the eye outline is automatically turned off. So we don't want that, we will on it. We will turn on it. What basically what happened, After Effects thought that we need to use it as a mask. We don't want to display it. That's why it automatically turned off the eye outline layer, right? So we need to turn it on manually with you can toggle the visibility of a layer with this eyeball, right? So now you can see that we have a eye, right? So we can apply the animation over here. But the one thing is that for this thing, we need to parent this dark area with the this. Otherwise, if we move this one, this will be here, right? We don't want that. So we will rig these two things with this, right? So for that, what you need to do, you need to uh, ask Photoshop to make this thing the parent of these two things. These two things will be the child of this circle. So I will press Ctrl Z, right? So we have this. Now what we need to do, we will go here, and here you can see that parent link. So I will click here and drag it to the P. I will click here and drag it to the P. So now if I move something, you can see that everything is moving, right? So we can rig everything accordingly, right? So if I go back, now I want to animate this thing like this one. So let's say I want to animate the position. For the position, the shortcut key is P. So now we have the position property over here. Otherwise, you can also see the position property by clicking over here. Now you have the position property over here, right? So if I click here, now when the eye opens up, I need a keyframe over here. When I open, let's say I want its position over here. Eyeball changes its position, then it comes here, then it comes over here, right? And at that point of time, I want, let's go here and press U key so that we have all the properties which have keyframes, right? So here you can see that the path have the keyframe over here. So what I want to do, I want to animate the path like this. Just a second, click here. Let's say, yeah, it's selected now. Face, इसको थोड़ा सा ऐसे. So now we have a sneaky eye, right? The motion is too strong. Let's reduce the motion. Let's delete this keyframe. So this is how you can observe what type of keyframe you need or what type of keyframe you don't need. Now you can see, right? So let's delete this out also and move this around here. Right? Because this motion looks good. After that, you can smooth the animation with the F9 key. This will smooth out the animation. Press F9, and you can also work on its animation graph, right? So basically, I will explain the animation graph later in the masterclass. So here you can see that. I think this one looks not good. So let's remove this out. Let's say in this position, right? इसको डिलीट करते हैं। यहाँ पे बिल्कुल स्टॉप है, तो हम इसको डिलीट करते हैं और इस पे हम इस तरह से, right? So we can create this type of animation very easily. After that, there are very advanced techniques to do this same thing, because we rig the animation, we rig the eyes for a proper character. When we have a very solid project, for that we have to rig this out. So basically we will explain everything in the master class. So I hope you enjoyed this session. Have you do you have any doubts regarding the animation or something? Thanks, Ankit ji. Thanks. Okay. So I forgot about that. Don't worry, Bikiran ji. Let me explain. So now we need to loop this out, right? The webinar is about the looping, right? So to loop this out, what you need to do, like here you can see that we have lot of frames. Let me delete everything. So let's delete these and let's delete these. So now we have the 10 seconds animation. So we need to loop the animation in about 10 seconds. So we can divide this animation in about 1 or 2 seconds to loop, right? So what we need to do is, I am going to zoom in to the timeline. Now you can see that the 1 second is over here. So now we are at the 1 second. So we need to design an animation according to the time, right? So we need to end the animation at that time. So like we started from here when the eye is closed. So I will copy that and I will paste the same keyframe where I want to end this thing, right? That means at the time of 1 second. So here we have the 5 frames. Let's zoom in out. Yeah. So here is the 1 second. So I want to end this at the 1 second or the 2 second. So let's go to the 2 second. I will paste Control V, right? So here you can see that it is closed now. At that particular time, in the middle of that, I need some animation because I don't want the ideal thing, right? So I want something moving in between, like this, right? Right? So after that, I need to move this ball also. So let's say I want to move this ball from this particular time. So I will click and drag, and then I will move this thing. And at this time, what I will do, I will copy and paste the same thing, right? So now we have to cycle this out, right? So to cycle, you need to apply a, you can manually do it, right? To manually do it, what you need to do is, let's say I want to copy this out. Firstly, this one, right? So I will copy it and go here and paste, Control V, right? So I will again go further, right? So here you can see that it is looping now. Or you can do one thing more. If you don't want this, right, you can also delete this thing. Now we have one loop. This one is one loop, right? So what I need to do is, I will go here and I will ask the composition to reduce the size to 2 seconds, like this. Okay. So whenever you post this thing as a GIF, or you can say that on Instagram, it will loop. So the main purpose, main phenomena of the looping something out is that the first frame and the last frame of the animation should be same, right? So that's why when we repeat the video, uh, it will loop it out, right? So have you liked this webinar? And do you have any doubts regarding today's session? Okay. So if anybody wants to join the master session, the classes are going to start on the 15th of May, and the details will be shared in the group. So you can join from there, right? Should we close the close today's session? Ankit ji, the duration of the course is about 1.5 months to 2 months, right? Because there will be lot of practice sessions and you have to create the good portfolio, because our main purpose is that you should have good portfolio for your career, right? Yes, बी करण जी, मैं आपके डिजाइन्स चेक करूंगा और आपको कहते हैं फीडबैक जरूर दूंगा. And Ankit, we will do some real-time projects so that you should have a good portfolio in the end, and you can share that portfolio with the employers or your clients. If you want good clients, right, you can also share those with your clients also, right? Right now, there is a trend of you can say that wedding cards, e-wedding cards, animated wedding cards, right? So you can also get the projects for that, right? For every e-card, you can charge about 2,500 to 5,000 rupees, and in the end, you will get the certificate of this masterclass. Yeah, invitation cards for the weddings, invitation cards for the you can say that baby shower, first birthday, Lohri, right? So there are a lot of things which people demand. That's great, Ankit ji. That's great. So basically, you will have a good idea how to create these type of things, and the motion graphics. You can easily apply for a job in any, you can say that studio, any type of studio. It could be a news channel or something. If you are in the Delhi, then news channels are the good place to uh, send your resume, right? So I hope you all like this, right? So if you get any doubts, you can send me a message, right? And the details for the masterclass will be shared in the group. Thanks for being a good sport. See you soon. Thanks, Pikaranji.